Hi there. Hope you're doing well. Um, for today's reading, I thought it would be kind of cool to figure out what the topic is based on a card that I pulled from this Earth Warriors Oracle deck. And I'll read the message out of the guidebook and we'll see what our spirit guides, God, the universe, your spiritual team, my higher self, your higher self, whatever energies of the highest love and light come through for today's reading, want to say to us. So I like to start readings by praying silently. And you can take this moment to ground yourself, meditate. If you need to grab water, just get quiet, whatever you like to do to center yourself, anchor the energy. Okay. Beautiful. It's a really sunny day today where I am, and I've been hearing the birds a lot, and I love hearing bird song. It always brings lightness to my heart. I've got a dog sleeping in the room now. The other dog is downstairs, so we'll see if she comes up here. But okay, so we have this card 18, Kunter Yachak. Excuse my pronunciation. I always mean to say that when I read these cards, but blessings from the son of Hanan Pacha. And I'm going to hold it up as I read from the book, so you can look at the image and read the card for yourself. Lots of vibrant colors here on all of these cards, which is why I love this deck. I just caught 222 on the timer. We love to see that. Oh wow, and this is actually one, so I haven't read through the entire guidebook, but I would pull cards for myself and read the pages, whatever my spirit guides led me to. And this one I read through and I actually annotated with a red colored pencil, you can see. So I'm gonna read the key points that I kind of highlighted in here. So first, the animal, the condor, is centered in this card. And this talks about powerful medicine, extraordinary triumph being at hand, resurrection, swiftness, so rebirth, this is change energy. You have always seen clearly. Condors reveal emotion through changes in their skin color. This is a reminder to trust what your body is telling you. And there's also Christ consciousness being highlighted here, so if that resonates with you. And condors are one of the oldest species on Earth, and they hold the medicine of strength, spiritual connection, and grace. And so this is about longevity, cleansing, protection. Condors apparently can process toxins that are harmful to other creatures. And this is about the power we have to undo damage and create extraordinary healing. But we have to listen, actively respond, and work together in conscious collaboration. Whenever I think of Christ, like Jesus Christ as a figure, as a guide, a mentor, an ascended master who we can look to as a model, I always think of unconditional love, compassion, and also miraculous healing. And so that Spirit just downloaded my own associations with that to note here. And then it says, the condor rules Hanan Pacha, the upper realm that is home to the gods as well as the stars, planets, and constellations. And you may intuitively recognize a universal love through the celestial realms of Hana and Pacha. So this is unconditional love, healing. This is about your power to self-heal and heal others. And it's about longevity and like, so I'm getting a message that often comes through in my readings here about, you know, patience, being in things for the long game, like slow and steady winning the race, and you know, the marathon, it be life being a marathon and not a sprint, and those sort of messages. And also we have some old souls here watching today, and so that's being emphasized as well. And then we have this card which says Totemic Puma, Power Awakening, with lots of orange, yellow. The sun has been really emphasized for me during my readings and meditations. I've been really connecting with the sun and, you know, that divine masculine energy, and also you know, the courage to shine, like having the courage to shine one's light. I grew up as like a really shy child, someone who, you know, didn't speak out very much. I didn't like to talk in class, that sort of thing. And so there's been a process of me healing my throat chakra and learning to speak up and use my voice and singing and all of that. So that immediately came through with these the oranges and yellows. There's also a monarch butterfly at the bottom here, and this is a puma, but I immediately was brought to the sun because of, I was thinking of lions and like Leo energy. But we'll pull that from the guidebook. I'm also going to move this box so that it's not right in your face. Let me take a sip of water. Okay, yeah, make yourself at home while you're watching this. I'm finishing up my, you know, morning coffee, and I'll be drinking water throughout the reading. Okay, so I'm not going to read the entire, because these are long passages, so I usually just try to pick out, you know, what's relevant. But it says, with you, I awaken the vigorous energy, fierce power, and ability to act without hesitation when the moment is right. My patience and strategy, my preparation and precision, my fearlessness and decisiveness are now your own. Allow my sacred medicine to fill your soul and bring courage to your heart. You have come into your power. Okay, yes, I caught the vibe. So we're gonna get some advice. I heard like strategy jumped out to me, and like decision. So somebody here today, if you're watching this, you possibly are on the precipice of something where you need to make a decision, and it's time to flow with the winds of change. And so you're seeking guidance possibly, or reassurance. That's what I'm getting to. Spirit will come through to boost your confidence around your ability to make the right decision. Yeah, you have the intuition to see this through, to be able to make the right move. And, you know, you've freed yourself from the trappings of thought that blocked you before from moving forward. Swords are mental energy, and so I often see the Eight of Swords as like a mental trap, where like you might not actually be physically stuck, but your thinking patterns, maybe it's a thought loop, or you keep going back to the same things over and over again, and that's preventing you from making the necessary changes in your life. But as you step into that Queen of Cups energy, that's no longer going to be holding you back. Let's see if Spirit wants to clarify for me what you're asking about. Nine of Cups. A wish that you made, a manifestation you had been asking for, petitioning for, possibly something during the new moon that you wrote down and were looking to see come into fruition, a new opportunity that you feel like has been blocked from you, and you're wondering, Spirit, like, is this for me? Is this the new beginning, or am I meant to wait some more? Spirit's thanking you for trusting in the divine, and asking for guidance rather than just following your ego, and also for taking the time to put a lot of thought into this, and prioritizing what would be for the highest good of all rather than the immediate payoff. But whatever is meant for you, whatever you're seeking, is seeking you. This career opportunity that you want is for the highest good. It is meant for you. And if you feel like there was someone in particular standing in your way, a difficult coworker or higher up, they're not going to be able to stop this from happening. Yeah, look ahead, envision what you want your future to look like. I've gotten this message before, so if you've watched a previous reading and this is a repeat message, maybe contemplate how you can better integrate it into what your situation is at this time. But definitely, like, this is about what you want. Okay, this is co-creation, so it's not like your faith and your trust in the divine is beautiful, and that energy of surrender is really powerful, but at the same time, you're still in the driver's seat and you still get to decide what you want your life to look like. It still gets to start with your vision board, your desire for expansion and growth, like how you want to expand and grow in your life, and what you see when you picture your dream life. That's what this is about. And yeah, there's like an emotional block here. I'm getting worthiness wound, right? So maybe you do know what you want. Yeah, at this point you've done the dreaming, the visioning, you have the vision board, but there's wounds from your past that possibly have been making you feel like it just can't happen for you, that it's just for some reason this Ace of Pentacles is not for you. You can't move forward into it because of who you are. That's how you're feeling, but it's not the truth. But the feelings, I always say this, like, feelings aren't facts, but they are informants. They get to tell you, they're like subjective informants, right? So they tell you what's going on a deeper level, because whatever is going on in your subconscious and on a deeper level, even if it's not the truth, it can still drive things south, like prevent you from moving forward and getting what you want, because if you're not aware of it, and if you're not redirecting that energy, releasing it, healing those wounds. So wow, so the dog was just asleep and then just suddenly hopped up and woke up and was like alert and wagged his tail. So I'm getting, you need to like wake up to something that was lying dormant within you. Okay, this is kind of abstract, but something you put to sleep when you were younger as a form of self-protection. And that's awakening within you. There's like a fire that's reawakening and showing you what you want. Yeah, that's Three of Wands energy, is that fire. Wands is fire. And you have to allow that. Don't be afraid of letting that be the driving force. Before, you were letting your emotions drive your actions, whether consciously or unconsciously. And now it's time to let that inner fire, right? That sun energy we were talking about, that courageous divine masculine energy, let that be the driver of your actions whereas your intuition, it's like your intuition draws the map, and that inner fire drives the car, right? I hope that made sense. Like, it makes sense, but I don't know if I'm like articulating it in the best way. Okay, let's dive a little bit deeper into, yeah, the Magician in reverse. It's time to turn the Magician upright. Like, allow yourself to embody that Magician energy where you're not afraid to act, and you're not afraid of your own power, and you're not afraid of like I'm getting that you're afraid of like destruction, like if you move too forcefully, you're gonna accidentally burn some bridges, or destroy what you've already had. You're afraid of starting over, right? Because the Magician is number one, and that's like beginning energy. Same with that Fool card that came out in the beginning. You're afraid of what it means to start over, possibly, and Spirit's reminding you that if you accidentally burn bridges, it's like anything that you feel like, I didn't mean to do that, that was divine intervention. Okay, so Temperance is what we have as this is like a brain between two hands. This is a Temperance card, number 14, and this is about shaping your thoughts, redirecting your thoughts, alchemizing your thinking patterns, optimizing your thinking patterns to support your manifestations and your manifestation ability. That Magician, your power right now is coming from your ability to bring your mind back online, like bring everything to the surface, so that you know what's going on in your mental, because sometimes thoughts just run through, and especially if you're someone who experiences like really rapid thinking, like thoughts just going, and you're not aware of them. They're still kind of like directing you, even if you're not listening consciously to every single thought. And so this Temperance card is bringing balance into that mental energy, slowing down, observing, so that you can use that energy in a useful way. Like, you're very smart, so you can make these really awesome decisions. You can, you can puzzle together like how things would work out best, use that planning and stuff. But it's hard when emotions are clouding that thinking ability. Past wounds, past maladaptive thinking patterns are clouding that. It's difficult. So this Temperance card is calling you to bring balance to that, and that's really going to help you make the best decision. Wow, the Ace of Wands and the Two of Wands, both in reverse. Okay, give it some more time. If you take time to make this decision, like, you're not going to lose out. Like, this opportunity is not going to miss you. So if you're worried about that, if you're worried like, listen, I've been contemplating this for a long time and I just feel like I haven't been making any moves toward it. Even if you haven't been making physical moves, the fact that you've been contemplating, that is a part of the progress. And so, yeah, it's okay to allow the flowers time to bloom and grow. You don't want to pick flowers before they're done blooming and growing. And that's what this is. You've been doing a lot of meditation and contemplation on what again, what you want your life to look like, but what you want your life's work to be, because you've recognized, okay, I'm not going to have a conventional career. I'm not just going to work a job, you didn't want to, but you also recognize like part of your destiny was this unconventional path. And so you've just started to put the puzzle pieces together of like, this is what my soul is calling me to do. Also, reminder, wands is soul energy, like that fire. That's what I always think about. It's a very spiritual suit. I mean, they're all spiritual, obviously, all of tarot is, but wands specifically, that fire, I always think of that as the soul fire, soul power, life force energy. And so sometimes you feel like that's halted with this Ace of Wands and Two of Wands in reverse. You feel like I haven't planned very well with this two. Like I haven't made plans. I haven't seen anything start. Like no fresh start has come into fruition. What am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. It's okay. Let it take the time it takes to unfold. Sometimes we're encouraged to take inspired actions. And look, Knight of Wands, that's you. And I in the Rider-Waite deck, I always see the Knight of Wands having a bit of trepidation and a bit of hesitation, like a tiny bit. Not as slow moving as the Knight of Pentacles, but the Knight of Swords is like go, go, go. Whereas the Knight of Wands, kind of like the horse is like rearing back a little bit. There's like a pause in the face. I always see it as being like hesitant, and that's you. And it's truly okay, but definitely trust yourself, and don't be afraid to jump in and tread water for a little bit. That's what I heard, because I heard like jump in, the water is fine. Like you can test the waters. Get curious. This is the Page of Pentacles. I always see that as curiosity, beginner's mind, being willing to learn. Study is a form of like forward progress. Like, any endeavor that you take, you want to be in that mindset of I'm always here to learn and grow. I'm asking Spirit because I'm like, I feel like these are repetitive messages, but I assume that somebody here needs to hear it because I trust whatever's coming through. This is a Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So I'm just getting a lot of like halted, slow moving, hesitant energy. And I want to find out why do we feel this way? And what can we do to help it? This is the Four of Cups in reverse. So yeah, Spirit's like, because the Four of Cups upright, that's like someone apathetic and like not, seeing the writing on the wall, not recognizing like what's being gifted to them. And that's not you, that's in reverse. So you haven't done anything wrong. And you do like all this Wands energy, you're passionate, and this being in reverse, you are passionate, and it's very evident that you care a lot and that you want to be making progress, and you just cannot figure out. Okay, it's literally the belief that you're doing something wrong and the belief that you need to do more that's kind of trapping you at this point. It's like, let go of that not enoughness energy, that I'm not, if stuff's not happening in the timeline that I think it should, if I'm not seeing results, tangible results, and I think I'm doing everything right, like it's you're not doing anything wrong. You really aren't. These things just really take time. Like building a business, when we hear all these success stories, it always seems like an overnight, like you went viral the next day, like first time out, like your company made a profit, like all of that stuff. It's like, no, these things take years and years and years to be successful. Spirit's calling to mind like Steve Jobs, and I guess it's because I've been reading this book on him on and off, but like he left Apple. I think the company was called something else, but he left and came back. It was like, you know, without him, the company wasn't doing well, but he had also experienced failures early on and was kind of like pushed out of this thing he started. And then he had to come back, and the Apple and the iPhone and all of that success and all of that like icon, pioneer energy that we associate with him, it was a long time coming before all of that stuff took place. Like when you think about computers starting, like Mac starting in like the 80s and stuff, we didn't have an iPhone until what, like 2011, something like that. You know what I mean? Like the success, I don't know the exact years, and I hate when Spirit gives me messages about things that I don't know all the details on, because I'm like, this, I don't know if this is helping, but the general idea of this is that you can start something and put it down or walk away for a while and then come back to it later, or you can realize like that thing that you started, that's not the direction you want to go at all, and then completely pivot, start new, but you don't even recognize like there were maybe some seeds planted in that original endeavor that are growing in the overall garden of your life's work, and they're contributing to fertilizing the soil. You just never know how things could be positively impacting what you're doing, like and you don't know, even when you vision your future and you start the process of manifesting, like the intention of like making those decisions is enough to get the ball rolling, and things won't play out exactly how they are on your vision board. Sometimes stuff lines up in an incredible way, but sometimes it takes a completely unexpected turn, and you hear people saying, I never saw this coming. I didn't know that the success would look like this. I just started with this idea and I kept my head down and I kept going and just ended up here. I always think of those as like the greatest success stories, where you just keep following your gut, keep following your intuition, and no matter how long it takes, as long as you are still with the belief that like someday I'm gonna get to a place of fulfillment, and I'm seeing this joy, bliss, love on this 3 of Cups. Like that's the important part. It's not the specifics, and it's not the timetable that's important. Again, life is a marathon, not a sprint. So especially when you have something like the Strength card, Leo, Sun energy, number 8, abundance. But especially if it's something that you love and you're passionate about, and also it's what your soul wants for you for this lifetime, that's gonna like keep you going. That's that longevity, that perseverance that we were talking about with this card that was talking about the condor, like and medicine, and strength and power. Like we want long-term power. We don't want power that's like a big push all at once and then you burn out. Like you don't want a flame that burns out. You want the sun that burns for millions, billions of years. And so it's okay that this is taking a long time. It's okay it's taking you a long time. That's what I heard. Like if it's a project that you feel like you keep putting down and picking back up, or you work a job, or you have kids and it keeps getting interrupted, like trust that when you're in the flow and you set that intention of, I want to flow with my intuition and I want to follow like how spirit is guiding me, trust that like if there's interruptions and delays, those are divinely orchestrated interruptions and delays. They're happening for a reason. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes or in the grander scheme. You don't know, like there could be a player who's important in your life's work and in whatever you're endeavoring towards, who you haven't even met yet, who is working on something that's going to end up aligning with whatever you're doing. Like you don't know what's happening, like, you know, across the country. Like maybe eventually you're going to be making a move somewhere and you didn't know until like you got that intuitive hit of like, okay, it's time to go 2 weeks from now. I'm booking, you know, I booked the flight for, and I'm just going to up and go. You just never know. You know, how sudden a change could be, or, you know, when a chance encounter, what that could lead to, all of that. So it's just important to just keep trusting that delays, interruptions, distractions, you know, those are most likely divinely orchestrated. Or, you know, like when you set the intention and ask your angels and spirit for guidance, for messages, for signs, for synchronicities, every little thing becomes significant to your journey. Like I've started to really live that way, where I'm like, it's a deeper listening. One of these cards talked about listening, where that I read from earlier. I'm just spirit's like showing me. I see things in my mind. I'm seeing the word listening in like the font that it doesn't matter. The important thing is I'm hearing like listening, and this idea of a deeper listening, where like spirit's calling to mind how when I read cards, I'm listening to, paying attention to when the dogs bark versus when they're quiet and asleep, or paying attention to when I hear bird song or a siren, or you know, if the candle flickers in a certain way, or I'm looking at my wall, which has a lot of different artwork and messages on it. Like if a word jumps out to me, all of that, like listening, not just like auditory listening, but listening with all of your senses, and your sixth sense of intuition, psychic ability, like all of that will help you maintain that trust and maintain that patience, because you understand everything is a message, and the timing, there's so much that plays into divine timing that's beyond our recognition and understanding. And this is Mercury, and Mercury is a fast moving energy. We have the number 2 here. And this is like reminding me of the Corduceus, I think it's pronounced, with the medical symbol with the like snakes and the, you know, that thing, and that's reminding me of that message of like the condor being healing, that powerful medicine. So spirit's saying, if you've started to recognize yourself, identify as a healer, specifically someone who even if you're like a counselor or a therapist, I'm getting, or a social worker, somebody who helps guide people to their own healing in some capacity. You've started to recognize that as your life's work, but you're meeting with obstacles and slow moving opposition. Oh my God, this card came out like, and it says opposition, confrontation. This is Mercury messages. So if you're finding that you're meeting with obstacles, just keep trusting that that's divinely orchestrated. All of this on your path is part of how things are meant to play out. I'm gonna get a tarot card or two to get some more. Knight of Pentacles, yeah, that slow moving energy. But with that green and pink heart-centered energy, oh, I just got a ringing in my ears. Yeah, so whoever you are as a healer, you're doing beautiful work and a beautiful job of constantly returning to love as the central goal for your work. Like this again, the specifics are not important. How you do what you do, it's your energy that's healing. This is the King of Pentacles. This emotional, intuitive leader who just is always acting and making decisions from a place of care. And so people around them that prioritize monetary gain or like quick growth, you know, like business people who are only focused on growth and expansion rather than like, you know, serving people, having a mission, a heart-centered mission, you know, they're going to have a different path and a different pace than you are. They have different priorities, so it's going to look like they're reaching success a lot faster than you. The payoff is happening sooner, whereas you feel like you're meeting obstacles. And you know why you're meeting obstacles? Because you're going against the current of the norm for business people, for other types of people in this world who have different goals that are not necessarily heart-centered or not necessarily for soul growth. You know, they're focused on physical growth, whereas you're focused on soul growth, the evolution of humanity, you know, listening to the muse, your intuition, your higher self. Not everybody's listening to their higher self. Yeah, this is the Muse Tarot, and it's like a really good deck for creative souls, artists, and also like I always think of like artists and like spiritual practitioners as having a lot of overlap, because that creative energy, like being an alchemist is being an artist, and vice versa, being an artist is an alchemist. So 2 of Wands again. In this deck, Wands is inspiration though, and I just freaking love that because it's that spark. It's stuff starts with inspiration. You get an inspired idea and it burns out if you don't listen to it, if you don't you know, do anything. And you just deciding to listen to it and exploring that, I'm getting exploration with this, that's enough too. Don't think of like, oh, I did get the inspired idea, but nothing, I haven't really made any big moves yet. That's okay. You're still doing it. You're still allowing the muse to speak to you. I hope this helps, because I sometimes my messages seem to come out like a little abstract. This is the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, if you're worried about being self-absorbed by like focusing so much on this project and focusing so much on your personal endeavors, maybe you're used to like serving in a more direct way, and you've decided, as an example, to quit your social work job to start pursuing building your own business, or you cut your hours, and you haven't felt like you've been serving people as directly, and it felt like all this like contemplation on my destiny, my purpose, all this focus on me with the tarot readings, you feel some of that guilt. So this is some of that worthiness wound of like, if I focus on me, then I'm not being a good person, I'm not being generous enough. And that's not true, because starting with this, like, you know, spending time deeply exploring and fleshing out how you want to pursue your life's work, that's going to allow for you to do the best work possible in the long run. So maybe right now you're in this self-centered energy, but it's going to allow you to be generous in the long run. Usually we talk about like, oh, filling your own cup, but with this, I'm actually getting more of like, it's not so much like, oh, emotional healing and self-care. It's more like making business plans, pursuing something that seems more centered around you rather than community based or something like that. But you know, like, eventually I'm going to serve people. Eventually this is going to be about helping and healing. But for the time being, I've had to kind of like go on this spiritual inward journey with the Hierophant here. And you know, you felt like there's been this imbalance, but Spirit is affirming and assuring you that you've done the right thing. You've done a really good job taking the time to do this. Okay, Excuse me. No. She knows better than to jump like that. I don't. Okay. All right, let's wrap this up. Okay, let's see what final messages. And this is the Star Codes Astro Oracle. In the community tab of my channel, I put a photo of the 4 new decks that I got, and I was like very excited to use them. So today I'm using 3 of them. The only one that I didn't get out was the Alchemy, Wild Unknown Alchemy deck. So we'll probably use that in the next reading. You've got some spirit guides who are very excited about the work that you're doing. I'm very excited that you've been receiving their messages. And it's like my guides are saying hi to your guides, and it's like they're meeting up. Okay, so this is kind of a funky, like, out there message. So hopefully for whoever is watching this resonates. But my spiritual team, it's like meeting up at like a party, like reuniting with old friends, or somebody they haven't seen in a while, and they're all getting excited and saying hello to your spiritual team and like welcome in, and like, hey, oh my gosh, it's been forever. And then just silliness and excitement ensues. Okay. Oh my gosh, the sun source. And that was kind of where we started this message. Beautiful energy. And this is a number 18 as well. The number 18 is one of my personal lucky numbers because my birthday is the 18th. You see there, 18, 18. In tarot, that's the moon card. But here it's the sun. So we've got sun and moon energy. Oh my gosh. And behind that, and you guys watched me shuffle this deck, strength, like the strength card. So they're just really, there's all this excitement about like you having stepped in your power. I'm seeing like you've grown, like you went through a growth spurt, a spiritual growth spurt, and your guides are like excited like parents. Like look at all this yellow. There's just like they're just happy for you. Spirit is happy for you. It's springtime. Let's get one last card. I hope you got some. I feel like this reading was... Oh, 4 of Cups. Okay. Yeah, remember to listen to your emotions this week. That's like the final advice. And we're still got that 2 of Wands. Just listening to them again as informants that are letting you know, here's what you need to heal in order to move forward. Don't ignore them. Don't suppress them. Especially watch out as you step into this divine masculine energy. Watch out for like the urge to ignore, repress, get angry with your emotions. Remember, they're still part of you. Just like you have to bring that mental energy online and harness it and redirect it and release, you got to do that with emotions as well. You can't, ignoring them, sweeping under the rug doesn't work. And it doesn't get in the way of you being a strong leader to have those emotions. Strength. Okay, that's it. Knight of Pentacles. The Strength card And this dignified energy, that's not a rushy, speedy energy either. Like, the sun, like masculine energy does not necessarily have to be fast moving. And taming a wild beast takes a ton of patience. I'm also being called to mind about training dogs, that being a long process that requires so much patience and so much, trial and error. So it takes strength to be patient. It takes strength to keep going as you're met with obstacles, as you're met with little failures. So just remember that, that's a sign of your strength as well and your ability as a leader. And we have retrograde review. Sometimes I'm called to read, most of the time I'm called to read reversals, but Spirit's kind of having me flip a lot of these cards over. But we have review and change. So as the winds of change start to blow in, make sure you're reviewing everything. Like I'm getting, when you check out of a hotel or an Airbnb, or even if you're moving out of a space, that final sweep through of like making sure you don't leave anything behind, making sure that you've integrated everything as you move into this new chapter. But basically, your spirit guides, Spirit, are so excited for you. They think you're incredible, and they're so happy to see you shining your light, and they want to tell you that you're golden, and you're doing such great work already, even if you don't recognize it. And my spirit guides love you and are saying hello. And thank you so much for watching this reading. If you resonate with my energy, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in another video. I love you.